Nag-unmute na ako, Gio. Okay lang. Gio, on your cue. Good afternoon and welcome to the launching of DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live. Let's begin with our preliminaries with the Philippine National Anthem, followed by the prayer, Calabarzon March, Batangas City Hymn, and Ibidi Hymn. Muli po tayong maghanda para sa pag-awit ng ating pambansang awit. Ayan. Hihintayin lang po natin saglit. Ayan, ihanda po natin ang ating sarili. Sa ilang sandali lang po ay tayo ay sama-samang aawit ng ating pambansang awit. Ganon din, isusunod na ang ating panalangin, ang Calabarzon March, ang Batangas City Hymn, at syempre ang ating Eto Batanggenyo Disiplinado Hymn. Muli po ay nandito kayo sa ating launching ng DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live. At ngayon pa lamang ay nagpapasalamat na kami ay inyong sinamahan para sa isang makasaysayang pagkakataon dito sa SDO Batangas City. Ano nga ba ang DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live? Maaaring kayo ay nagtatanong kung ano ito. Ito ay ang napapanahong programa ng SDO Batangas City at ng SGOD sa pangunguna of course ng ating pong SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños at syempre ang ating ASDS Dr. Joe P.F. Palquesa ang ating pong SGOD Chief, Dr. Victoria G. Fababier, kasama din po ang ating CID Chief, Dr. Sakura Pamia. Ito po ang tugon ng SDO Batangas City sa mga hamon ng panahon. Ngayon ay mas marami tayong maaabot at marami tayong information na ibibigay, hindi lamang dito sa Batangas City, kundi sa buong mundo. Ang SDO Batangas City ay handa na tumugon sa hamon ng panahon. Para sa Batanggenyo, tuloy ang edukasyon. Para sa bayan, para sa bata. Pagbati po sa ating 1.2 million viewers na nakikisa sa SDO Batangas City sa ating launching ng DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live. Isang programa na makakaisa natin at makakasama natin tuwing Lunes upang ihatid ang mga kaganapan at mga pangyayari dito sa SDO Batangas City. Ngayon pa lamang ay pinasasalamatan na namin ang aming mga partners. Maraming salamat po sa ating DepEd partners na patuloy na sumusuporta at umaalalay sa DepEd Batangas City. Siyempre, nandiyan ang ating city government sa pangunguna ni Mayor Beverly Rose A. de Macuja na palaging nakasuporta sa DepEd Batangas City. Ayan. At sa napakarami ng partners ng DepEd Batangas City, ang bawat paaralan ay nakakatanggap na ng mga tulong. At ito po ay buong pusong nire-recognize at ina-appreciate ng SDO Batangas City. Mula po sa SDO Batangas City, maraming salamat po. At ang programa pong ito, DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live, ay para sa inyo. Para sa bawat mag-aaral na Batanggenyo. Ngayon po ay ihanda na natin ang ating sarili para sa ating pag-awit ng pambansang awit.
para sa kaunlaran. Ako'y hubog sa mabuting aral at asal. May takot sa batas, lalong-lalo na sa may kapal. Kahit saan man magpunta, ako'y maaasahan. Para sa lungsod kong mahal, lahat ay makakayanan. Sumpang aking bibitawan para sa magandang kinabukasan. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, magkatuwang tayo. Walang ikaw, walang ako, walang kanya-kanya rito. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, sama-sama, tulong-tulong, sabay-sabay na usbong. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado. Sa tahanan, paaralan, sa mga pinagtatrabahuhan, sa kalye at kapaligiran, at sa pamayanan, kahit saan man magpunta, ako'y maaasahan. Para sa lungsod kong mahal, lahat ay makakayanan. Sumpang aking bibitawan para sa magandang kinabukasan. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, magkatuwang tayo. Walang ikaw, walang ako, walang kanya-kanya rito. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, sama-sama, tulong-tulong, sabay-sabay na usbong. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, magkatuwang tayo. Walang ikaw, walang ako, walang kanya-kanya rito. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, sama-sama, tulong-tulong, sabay-sabay na usbong. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado, sama-sama, tulong-tulong, sabay-sabay na usbong. Eto, Batanggenyo, disiplinado.
At ngayon po ay pakikinggan natin ang ating Assistant Schools Division Superintendent para sa welcome remarks. Palakpakan po natin Dr. Jopi F. Falquesa.
Maraming pong salamat, ma'am. Sa atin hong minamahal na Schools Division Superintendent, ang atin hong napakahusay, napakabait, very fatherly na ama ng Schools Division of Batangas City, Dr. Saldi Bulaños. Sa atin hong SGOD Chief, si Ma'am Vicky Pamabier, sa lahat ho na bubuo ng SGOD, sa CID rin, sa pangunguna po ng atin ng CID Chief, si Ma'am Cora. Siyempre po, nais ko rin na rin pong batiin ang atin ng minamahal na Congressman Marvy Marino, at ang City Government po sa pangunguna ng atin ng minamahal na punong lungsod, Honorable Beverly Rose Di Makuha. Sa inyo pong lahat, magandang hapon po. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Totoo pong ito ang araw, ito po ang tamang oras, ang tamang araw, ang tamang panahon sa paglulunsad ng Batanggenyo, isang programa ng atin pong SDO Batangas City. Ang programa pong ito ay magsisilbing avenue to address the significance of teachers' performance. Kung saan dito po mapapag-usapan at matatalakay ang mga mahalagang bagay kung paano natin higit na matutulungan ang ating minamahal na mga guro, ang ating mga committed and dedicated teachers na sa kabila po ng pandemya ay patuloy na isinusulong ang edukasyon para sa mga mag-aaral na Batanggenyo. Of course, this will serve as an avenue for the significance of our school heads and the significance of our non-teaching personnel. Totoo pong ang Batanggenyo na inilunsad na programa ng ating SDO Batangas City sa pangutan ng ating SGOD team ay makakatulong upang ang ating mga school heads, ang ating pong mga non-teaching personnel ay higit pang mabigyan ng karampatang technical assistance kung kinakailangan upang higit na may pagpatuloy at higit pong masubaybayan ang pag-aaral ng atin pong mga minamahal na mag-aaral sa kabila ng nararanasan natin. Sa kabila po ng COVID-19, nadyan ang ating mga minamahal na principals at nadyan po ang ating mga non-teaching personnel sa lahat ng mga paaralan sa SDO Batangas City na patuloy na nagtataguyod ng karunungan para sa ating mga mag-aaral. This will also serve as an avenue to strengthen our partnerships with our stakeholders. Dahil sa pamamagitan po ng programang ito, patuloy na maipapaabot ng atin pong sangay at ng atin pong mga stakeholders ang mga karampatang tulong para sa ating mga mag-aaral. Ang mga karampatang bagay na pwede pong maglinang palalo sa karunungan ng ating mga mag-aaral. Kaya naniniwala po talaga ako that this is the right time. This is the day that the Lord has given for every one of us to launch this Batanggenyo program. Higit po sa lahat, this is an avenue for student learning. Ito po ang magtutulong sa SDO Batangas City sa mga paaralan at sa ating mga guro, sa ating po mga school heads to address questions, queries para po sa nalalapit na pasukan. Maraming pong salamat sa inyo pong lahat. Naalala ko po ang sinabi ni Henry Tinedero, sabi po niya, "Thank you for building the future of our children, not on the sand of myths and fallacies, but on the rocks of facts and certainties." Congratulations sa SGOD team. Congratulations po sa atin pong social mobilization personnel, sa atin pong information officer, sa technical working group, sa inyo pong lahat. Maraming pong salamat. Pagpalain po tayong lahat ng ating Panginoon. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Salamat po.
Maraming salamat po ang ating pong minamahal na Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jopi F. Falcasa. At ngayon naman ay maririnig natin ang project description at ito ay bibigay sa atin ng SGOD Chief, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Victoria G. Fababier.
Hello, a pleasant day to all of us, to those who are viewing. For the description of this project, DepEd Batangas City, Batanggenyo Live, Learning in Virtual Environment is a proposed project of the school governance of our schools division Batangas City through SCOD, Social Mobilization and Networking section, and also the Division Information Office, where DepEd Tayo Batangas City Facebook will have 30-minute to 1-hour live broadcast featuring DepEd Batangas City's activities and educational concerns. For the objectives of this project, number 1, disseminate information about the DepEd Batangas City and its programs, activities, and plans. Number 2, create an accessible learning avenue in a virtual environment for learners and teachers as part of the STO's Learning Continuity Plan. Number 3, gather possible DepEd partners during live broadcast. And number 4, create awareness and sustainability measures as we embrace the setting in the new normal. And we thank the proponents of this project, the SDO Batangas City, and through the leadership of our schools division superintendent and our focal person for SOCMOB, Mrs. Ching Arevalo, and our division information officer, Ms. Vina Delgado. A pleasant day to all of us again.
Maraming salamat po sa ating SGOD Chief, Dr. Victoria G. Fababier. At ngayon naman po, ang maririnig natin ay mensahe ng ama ng division para ibigay ang karampatang mensahe at ang launching na rin para sa ating programa. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Vina, as our moderator today in this launching of DepEd Batangas City, Batang Genyo Live. We have always a saying that it is always from the simple that produces the marvelous. Of course, my salute and greetings to all who are behind this project, Batang Genyo Live. Of course, to our ASDS, Sir Jopi F. Palquesa, very supportive and at the same time very cooperative when it comes to the implementation of the different programs, projects, and activities of our schools division. Of course, to our SGOD Chief, Ma'am Vicky Pababier, who is also a proponent of this program, Ma'am Cora Cumiya, our CID Chief, to all the SGOD people, the CID people. Of course, my greetings also to our Honorable Mayor, Mayor Beverly Rose A. Dimacuja, and of course to our Congressman of Batangas City, Congressman Marby Marino, and of course to all the proponents, the technical working group, to the host of this project, Batang Genyo Live, with Ma'am Ching Arevalo, Sir Genyo, Ma'am Vina, to all who are behind this project. My greetings and a pleasant day to you all. You know, the success of the DepEd Batangas City as a people organization is deeply rooted on the unique leadership of great pillars of educational institutions. Our humility, lofty ideas, creativity, and commitment to innovate, to advance, and to trailblaze such projects have enkindled our enthusiasm to design and avail the same to our fellows in the field, despite the pandemic, in order to keep them well informed, updated, and abreast with the latest educational information, programs, and projects, as well as policies and guidelines, so that our share as part of the educational system will be provided and extended to all beneficiaries of our public services. And at the same time, we will win their support and fervor for the good of public service. In other words, we are always on the go. We are always moving forward with optimism and synergy. Today, our fellow innovative educators through the SGOD is spearheaded by our Chief, Ma'am Vicky Pababier, with the cooperation and support of all in the SGOD, will launch our own project entitled DepEd Batangas City, Batang Genyo Live, which will feature, of course, the SDO updates, the limelights, the education personnel as ideal public servants, wellness program, entertainment, and stakeholders engagement. I am aware that you all, the personnel who are behind this program, have really stretched your mind and imagination to design until you come up with this meaningful endeavor. I know that plans have passed through a series of consultation, of collaboration for improvement. And I'm pretty sure that very often you underwent modification. That's why I really salute you, our dear colleagues, educators, for your resilience, for your tenacity and perseverance in pursuing this undertaking despite many challenges that come along your way. Remember that this is just the beginning of more exciting, more interesting activities that will shed light to every information that will truly motivate to do our shares for the good of public services, because we truly recognize the worth of everyone in the organization. May our eagerness to pursue, excitement to play, and realize our goal be continually felt by everyone in the field to savor the essence and beauty of this project, especially the recipients and end users of this program. Let's all together support our masterpiece and look forward for its productive outcomes. So good luck and God bless everyone.
Maraming salamat po sa ating pinagpipitagang Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños. Thank you very much, sir, for the inspiration. And at this point, sisimulan na po natin ang ating DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live.
DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live.
Isang magandang hapon po. Ngayon po ay Lunes, ika-29 ng Hunyo taong 2020. At ito ang unang pagtatanghal ng DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live. Ngayong hapon ay ito ang ating matutunghayan. Sa balitang SDO, balitang DO, SDO Batangas City, handa sa new normal. At work from home scheme ipinatupad sa SDO Batangas City. Para sa ating limelight, kikilalanin pa natin higit ang ama ng division para sa ating limelight. At para naman sa ating segment na Siguro Star, alamin ang sikreto ng isang very inspirational na guro. Malalaman natin yan sa ating Siguro Star. At para naman sa ating leader kong Lodi, sino nga ba ang Lodi na leader ng SDO Batangas City? Walang iba kundi si SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños. Higit dyan, malalaman natin magkakaroon tayo ng dagdag kaalaman para sa ating The Master Thinker. Hatid ni The Master Thinker himself.
Healthy ka!
Para sa Dapat Healthy Ka, papakinggan natin ang mga tips mula sa ating Doctor of the Division, Dr. Maria Rosa Villaclet, para palagi tayong healthy at safe. At syempre, kailangan masaya tayo. Tatawa tayo para sa ating Halhalan 101. Huwag kakalimutang ngumiti. At syempre, eto na ang paghahanap ng ating mga partners. Ihahayag na ang mga nahanap ng partners at ang patuloy pa nating paghahanap. Para yan sa ating segment na Can You Be My Partner?
Balitang DO.
SDO Batangas City, handa sa new normal. Inilatag ni SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños ang Learning Continuity Plan ng SDO Batangas City na nagpapahayag ng kahandaan nito para sa darating na school year 2020-2021. Ayon sa datos ay mayroon ng mahigit 50,000 mag-aaral ang naka-enroll na. Para nga sa new normal, magkakaroon ng iba't ibang modalities of learning. Una na dito ang face-to-face learning na magaganap lamang kung magkakaroon na ng vaccine o gamot laban sa COVID-19. Sa ilalim naman ng distance learning, magaganap ang online distance learning sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng internet. Ganon din ang modular distance learning, kung saan ang mga mag-aaral ay gagamit ng mga modules na ipamamahagi ng DepEd. Kasama rin ang paggamit ng TV o radio-based instruction o RBI. Inihain din ang iba't ibang mga gagampanang tungkulin ng mga guro at mga punong guro upang maisakatuparan ang pagpapatuloy ng edukasyon. Inisa-isa din sa Learning Continuity Plan ang mga hakbang na gagawin upang maisakatuparan ang mga planong nabanggit. Ang SDO Batangas City ay patuloy na nagpupunyagi at kaisa ng kagawaran sa pagsasakatuparan at pagpapatuloy ng edukasyon. Work from home scheme ipinatupad ng SDO Batangas City. Sa pagtalima sa DepEd Order No. 11 Series of 2020, ipinatupad ng SDO Batangas City ang kombinasyon ng physically reporting to office at work from home arrangement, kung saan kalahati lamang ng bilang ng kabuang empleyado na magmumula sa OSDS, CID at SGOD ang magtatrabaho sa bawat araw. Ang mga empleyado na may edad 21 at pababa, ganun din ang 60 taon at higit pa, kasama ang mga empleyadong at risk ay nasa ilalim ng work from home arrangement. Sa mga magre-report sa opisina ay ipinatutupad ang mga health protocols kagaya ng pagsusuot ng face mask, physical distancing, pag-check ng temperatura at iba pang public health measures. Patuloy ang pagdidisinfect ng mga gusali sa tulong na rin ng Batangas City Government na palaging nakaalalay at nakasuporta sa DepEd Batangas City sa pangunguna pa rin ng ating butihing Mayor Beverly Rose A. Di Makuha. Mayroon ding health status survey na lahat ng mga empleyado upang laging malaman ang kanilang kalagayan. Ang mga panuntunan ito ay ipinatutupad din sa lahat ng mga paaralang sakop ng SDO Batangas City sa pamamagitan ng mga punong guro ng bawat paaralan. At yan po ang mga balita natin sa Balitang DO.
Limelight.
Para naman sa ating limelight, samahan niyo ako at kilalanin pa nating higit ang ama ng division kung saan ang puso ay binibigay sa paglilingkod. Mga kaibigan, ang ating pong SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños.
Armed
Armed with expertise, integrity, and humility, Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños is continuously giving himself as a servant leader in the academy, in the community, and in the church. A native of Payapa, Padre Garcia, Batangas, really prefers his colleagues, constantly growing personally and professionally. He always inspires others to do more, to accomplish more with satisfaction. For years, he has shown utmost dedication as a resolute leader. His spontaneity as an excellent leader can be attributed to his vast experiences, hard work, and commitment in the field of public service. Serving first as a classroom teacher, school head, supervisor, and later on as a school's division superintendent. As an education leader, he even brings the division office closer to the people in the field by constantly conducting monitoring of the activities, bringing serving workforce to the school like personnel in charge of accounting, operations, and governance, curriculum and instruction, school building, ICT, and supply among others, listening and addressing to their issues and concerns regarding school-based management (SBM). Indeed, he became the champion of the workforce, for he is so responsive to their queries and needs. Thus, symmetrical relationship is manifested in the field. With his impressive achievements and accomplishments in the education arena, there is no doubt that he continually receives citations and awards from different sectors of society, which serve as a model to his community. In the field of education, he hailed as the most outstanding public schools district supervisor from the district, area, and division levels. Gawad Balisong, which means Batanggenyong angat ang lahing isinasabuhay ng may sinseridad sa organisasyon ng may natatanging galing. Up to regional level, Gawad Patnugot, a notable award being given to those who exemplified outstanding performance and unquestioned integrity, which give meaningful impact to the school and the community. As a community servant, he was a recipient of Natatanging Garciano Award, municipal level, Gawad Dangal ng Bayan, municipal level, Natatanging Gurong Garciano, municipal level, Huwarang Pamilyang Batanggenyo, barangay municipal, congressional district levels, and finalist in provincial level. His moral principle in life in all his undertakings is that I want my work as an expression of what God has put into my mind, heart, and soul. He puts God first in all his dealings to make sure that everything he will do will be in accordance with the will of God, our Savior.
At nakita po natin ang limelight ay nakaspat para sa ating SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños. Tunay ngang kayo po ay isang inspirasyon. Mayroon tayong mahuhusay na guro dahil mayroon tayong mahusay na leader. Maraming salamat po. Pagsaludo para sa inyo, Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños. Mayroon tayong mahusay na leader, kaya mayroon tayong mahusay na guro. Para sa ating segment na Siguro Star, narito ang isang guro na tunay ngang isa ring inspirasyon. Teacher 2 at Science Teacher sa Alalian Senior High School. Siya ay isang kilalang mananaliksik sa buong division. Sa katunayan ay star na star siya. Paaralan bilang guest speaker ng mga seminars at trainings tungkol sa research. Iniimbitahan din siya sa ibang division na magbigay ng kaalaman sa mga kapwa niya guro tungkol sa qualitative research. Dahil sa kanyang kahusayan at kasipagan, ay nagkamit siya ng mga karangalan sa international at national basic educational research conferences na tunay na multi-disciplinary accountable research. Siya ay isang pinakamahusay sa pamalahat ng kanyang sarili. Kaya natamo niya ang best educational Pagkatapos lang ng Conference of Basic Education Researchers 2019. Sa naganapang Conference of Basic Education Researchers, ang Indonesia 2018 ay nakikita naman siya ng dalawang recognition. Pagdating sa kanyang academic journey, isa naman siyang cum laude na gumraduate sa Batang State University. Natapos niya ang kanyang master's, specialized in science teaching sa kaparehas na university. Sa taong ito, matagumpay niyang natapos ang programang Doctor of Philosophy in Education in Science Education sa Philippine Normal University. Hindi lang matalino at matinik sa research, pambato rin siya sa kantahan, halina't ating tunghayan. Dr. Dennis Masangkay.
Ang iyong paligid, ating gabing walang hanggan. Anyo ng kulay ng mundo sa'yo'y pinagkaitan. Magmabahala kaibigan, isinilang ka mang ganyan. Isang mula sa kamunduhan, ligtas ka sa kasalanan. Hindi nalalayo sa'yo ang tunay na mundo. Marami sa aming nabubuhay ng tulad mo. Di makita, di marinig, minsa'y namutan. Patungo sa hinahangad na buhay na banal. Ibigin mo mang umawi, hindi mo makuhang gawin. Sigaw ng puso't damdamin, wala sa'yong pumapansin. Sampung daliri kaibigan, dyan ka nila pakikinggan. Ibig ka man ay sinilang, dakila ka sa sino man. Di nalalayo sa'yo ang tunay na mundo. Marami sa aming nabubuhay ng tulad mo. Di makita, di madinig, minsa'y nauutan. Patungo sa hinahangad na buhay na banal. Ano sa'yo ang musika, sa'yo ba'y mahalaga? Natahimik mong paligid, awitan ay di marinig. Mapalad ka o kaibigan, napakahingay ng mundo. Sa isang bingin katulad mo, walang daing, walang gulo. Hindi nalalayo sa'yo ang tunay na mundo. Marami sa amin nabubuhay ng tulad mo.
isang star, Dr. Dennis B. Masangkay.
Leader kong Lodi.
Leader Kong Lodi. Para sa ating unang pagtatanghal, ang Leader Kong Lodi na kasama natin ngayon ay tunay na makapagbibigay inspirasyon sa ating lahat. Mga kasama upang ibahagi sa atin ang Division Learning Continuity Plan, ang ating minamahal na SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Vina. Tunay nga na ating SDS Schools Division of Batangas Province or Batangas City is very much concerned about the welfare of our constituents, from colleague educators down to our learners. Thus, our schools division is having relentless in various transformation efforts. We continually endeavor to develop the course of competent and committed basic education leaders. We are all working hard to ensure effective, efficient, and expedient delivery of basic education services. We consider the appropriate learning modalities as well as the learning materials in order to ensure that the optimum learning achievement of our learners, as well as in every key stage of all types of learners in every educational and school context. That I am very greatly honored and pleased to present to you our SDO Learning Continuity Plan, which will serve as a guide in implementing various programs, projects, and activities in our schools division. We strongly believe that however uncertain the future is, we must stand up for education. As a positive response to the call of our DepEd Secretary, Leonor Magtolis Briones, that education must continue despite this pandemic. So here is the SDO Learning Continuity Plan of Batangas City.
Good day, everyone. The Schools Division of Batangas City, one of the divisions that have obtained ISO 9001:2015 certification, is committed to the standards of quality management in providing quality and efficient service to stakeholders. Here are summary information about our division. A total of 62,122 students were enrolled in the previous school year. As of June 17 this year, 51,373 public school learners comprised of 29,187 in elementary, 17,491 in junior high school, 3,465 in senior high school, 999 transferees, 231 balik-aral students, and 274 learners in the alternative learning system have already registered for enrollment. In the private schools, only 413 students have registered, as most schools will have their enrollment in July or August. we have a total of 105 schools composed of 44 small, 34 medium, and 27 large schools. From the 105 public schools, 9 are island schools, 76 are lowland schools, and 20 are upland schools. There are 41 private schools in the division. 5 schools cater to kindergarten students, 15 to kindergarten to elementary, 7 to kindergarten to junior high school, 11 to kindergarten to senior high school, and 3 schools cater to senior high school students only. Currently, our division has 88 SDO personnel, 2,275 teaching personnel, 105 school teaching related personnel, and 162 non-teaching personnel. We have 1,585 classes in elementary, 279 in junior high, 57 in senior high, and 249 in integrated schools. As for the alternative learning system, we have a total of 46 learning centers. The ALS teaching force has 26 teachers in all, 14 of which are nationally funded mobile teachers, 2 LSB funded, and 10 are district ALS coordinators. In terms of special education, we have 8 elementary schools and 1 secondary school with SPED program. The division has a total of 25 teachers catering to the learners with special education needs. Last year, there were 373 learners, 317 out of which are in the self-contained program, while 56 learners are in the inclusion program. The division of Batangas City is one with the Department of Education in addressing challenges in the basic education through its learning continuity plan. The plan is aimed primarily at fostering healthy, safe, and supportive education delivery for both the students and the teachers. Our LCP, while adhering to the existing curriculum standards, adopts the DepEd Learning Continuity Plan and the Pivot 4A ICLEA framework initiated by DepEd Calabarzon. We will align our learning delivery and resources to the IDEA paradigm. We will utilize the most essential learning competencies guided by the budget of work crafted in our region. The learning modalities and assessment we plan to offer will be responsive to the needs of our diverse learners. We will practice flexibility and inclusion in providing quality learning by reaching out to every teacher and learner through all possible means. This has been our division's response to the challenge of making learning happen at a distance, considering that face-to-face learning is not an available option for now. To ensure continuity of education, enrollment is being done in all possible ways, such as online enrollment, telephony, or installing kiosks and drop boxes in strategic places in the school and in the community. The survey of learning modality preference and learners' readiness to these modalities was also conducted. The results have been our guide in determining the learning delivery approaches suited to the local context and diversity of learners. In terms of teachers' technical readiness, the survey results reveal that 50.40% of the respondents have access to laptops, desktops, and internet connectivity, are familiar with online platforms, and have the ability to perform online activities. This result is very close to the 49.60% of the respondents who may not be ready technically, as they responded no to these areas of the survey. In terms of pedagogical readiness, a greater number of teachers are found to be knowledgeable in the use of technology in pedagogy and are positive that there can be high-quality learning without face-to-face interaction. About 17.90% of them, however, view otherwise. Given this data, it can be concluded that most teachers in the division are pedagogically ready to adopt flexible learning options. As for students' technical readiness, respondents were asked about whether they have access to and knowledge of the use of information technology resources, and if they have people around to guide them in home-based learning. The responses were averaged, and it was found out that about 48.70% responded yes to these items, and 51.20% responded no. Based on this result, it can be concluded that less than half of the student respondents may be technically ready for flexible learning. As for the parents, in terms of almost the same areas assessed in the students, and their ability to provide learning space and guidance on their children's use of cyberspace, about 47.10% of them may be deemed as technically ready, while 52.90% of them are not. On the students' preferred learning modalities, the survey yielded these results. Modular learning ranks first as it is preferred by 39% of the respondents. Online learning ranks second as 31% considers it a good option. Blended learning ranks third as 17% of the respondents also see it as a good teaching modality in the new normal. Television, radio, and other modes are favored by 13% of the learners. The survey also explored on the students' means of school transport. Results show that 40% of the students are walking to get to school. 39% of them commute by public transport. 12% travels through family-owned vehicles, and 9% rides in school service vehicles. Engagement of the various stakeholders is operationalized in the division through the following: giving orientations to teachers and personnel, students and parents in preparation for the new normal in education, regular online meetings in schools and offices, focus group discussions with teachers and school heads to address issues and problems, information dissemination through online flyers and videos, and upskilling is being done on different topics that have been identified as essential. In line with the capacity building activities for teaching and teaching-related personnel, the result of the survey on their professional learning and development needs under the new normal has these topics as the top 5 priorities. As our response, we have scheduled trainings in form of webinars covering these topics to be carried out from June to July. To secure achievement in helping our learners attain essential goals, we have initiated the Division Curriculum Implementation Strategic Direction Setting to guide schools in operationalizing their learning continuity plans. Meanwhile, support from stakeholders is made even stronger through collaboration with the local government and other partners. The Batangas City government will always become our division's strong alliance. The usual budgetary request for PPAs from the Special Education Fund of the local government will now be used to augment funds for the learners' needs in this time of pandemic. The division has forwarded these requests amounting to 47,721,160 pesos to the local school board. Part of our supplemental fund is the budgetary realignment, which will be used for the purchase of 25 units of heavy-duty risograph machines, USB flash drives, school and office supplies, and establishment of a learning resource depot. Thus, our total projected supplemental budget is 75,721,160 pesos. Support from staff will boost the school's MOOE funds to better facilitate education delivery. Also, in terms of support, Brigada Eskwela in schools has successfully shifted to new normal needs in lieu of the traditional essential items and services. These companies, groups, and private individuals, as well as other generous Brigada Eskwela partners, have already forwarded donations and pledges in their support for our learning continuity. Special education in Batangas City is also getting munificent support from USAID's Gabay project, which aims to strengthen inclusive education for blind and deaf children. This is a 3-year project that will enable visually and hearing impaired children in select provinces to gain access to quality education. Batangas City is one of the grantees of the project, which targets to launch an inclusive education community resource at the Batangas City East Elementary School, provide braillers, braille embossers, hearing aid devices, and other assistive technology and equipment for use by early grade students with visual and hearing impairments, and produce appropriate learning and assessment materials for children with sensory disabilities. As for content and competencies, activities such as MELC in Pivot 4A, presentation and walkthrough, learning exemplar enhancement, and weekly activity sheet preparation are happening in the division. In crafting their lesson exemplars, teachers will use the most essential learning competencies guided by the Pivot 4A BAO. Instruction in any modality for all types of learners will be aligned to the idea design. Some of the means identified for the distribution of the learning materials are the following. For island schools, through habal-habal partners, boatmen, barangay officials, and health workers. For upland schools, barangay officials and health workers through their patrol cars. Other means would be mobilization of PTA officer volunteers and installation of DepEd kiosks at barangay halls or centers. Among the materials to be distributed are the textbooks. As of this time, textbooks are being inventoried for distribution to the learners. These can provide students with supplemental learning materials, ideas, and activities to use throughout the academic year. Our learning delivery modalities will include face-to-face delivery with a maximum of 20 students per class and following rigidly the health and safety protocols. However, this modality will be used only after a vaccine or cure for COVID is found and when physical attendance in schools is determined to be safe. We will also offer distance learning, which will be categorized into 3. Online distance learning for those who have the affordances of the internet to access resources. Modular distance learning, where students will be studying using modules in print or in digital formats. TV or radio-based instruction, which will be done by having our division partner with local stations, for instance, to play storytelling audio records. Another option which our learners also favor is blended learning, the combination of face-to-face learning with any one or all types of distance learning modalities. In this setup, students will be grouped into 2 sets. The first set will have a week session of face-to-face learning and have distance learning the following week. The second set of students will have their schedule alternately with the first set. For students who prefer the modular distance learning, orientation will be given to their parents as this modality will require their supervision. Learning resources will be distributed to them through various means with the assistance of our key stakeholders. Their assessment will likewise be modular in form of suitable kinds of assessment, and their parents or guardians will be the ones to submit their output to the teachers on arranged schedules. For those who prefer online distance learning, which requires stable internet connectivity, technology devices, and household members' supervision, everything will be delivered online, including orientation, distribution of learning resources, lesson presentation, assessment, and output submission. TV and radio-based instruction is seen only as a supplemental modality at this time, as policies and agreements will have to be made with TV channels or radio stations. Suppose this modality will be utilized, it will have to follow this process of advocacy or awareness program, scheduling, presentation of lesson, assessment, and submission of outputs. And all these discussed modalities will be subject to monitoring and evaluation by the school's division office through the supervisors and specialists. These are sample scheduling from schools employing different learning modalities in a class. As regard learner assessment, varied forms of diagnostic, formative, and summative assessments will be provided depending upon the learner's chosen modality, whether it's modular, online, or blended learning. TV or radio-based instruction will serve as a supplemental learning delivery mode. For our implementation plan for the period before the opening of classes on August 24, the teachers are expected to perform these tasks, which include but are not limited to the following. For the school heads, their essential tasks include, but are not limited to these. Having laid out our division LCP, STO personnel and officials will perform these tasks, among others, which will be deemed necessary. As we operationalize our learning continuity plan, we have identified challenges in the implementation such as reproduction of learning resources, budget allocation for these resources, delivery of the learning resources to our learners, availability and stability of internet connection, capability of household members to assist our learners, and monitoring of the teachers in the delivery of instruction. We see these challenges as opportunities to take the following action steps: purchase of printing machines, supplies, and materials for every district and large schools, revisiting the AIP and CEF budget, as well as the supplemental budget for realignment, establishing linkages with stakeholders to seek their assistance in the delivery and retrieval of learning materials to our learners, making a proposal to amplify our internet connectivity in schools through the CEF supplemental budget, conduct of parents' orientations and technical assistance to them on supervising instruction, preparation of learning exemplars, accomplishment reports, and frequent meetings with our school heads. And to keep SDO Batangas City smoothly moving forward, these are our strategic direction plans. For the Office of the Schools Division Superintendent, it includes ensuring that benefits of teachers are provided and received, directing the proper realignment of budget, ensuring safety of learners against cyberbullying through constant policy review and legal technical assistance. For the Curriculum Implementation Division, it would ensure the continuous development of contextualized learning materials and lesson exemplars aligned with the MELCs and budget of work released by the CLMD of the regional office. Provision of technical assistance to all school heads and teachers on the delivery of intended learning modalities. And for the school's governance and operations division, it would include the regular monitoring of schools, provision of technical assistance using various online platforms, provision of professional enhancements under the new normal, strengthening networking and partnership building, and provision of health and safety measures to all personnel and learners. Some of our essential programs, projects, and activities this year are the following: Oplan Balik Eskwela, Brigada Eskwela, development of learning exemplars, continuous reskilling and upskilling of school personnel, school-led implementation of gulayan sa paaralan at tahanan, strengthening partnerships with the stakeholders, strict observance of required health and safety protocols, amplifying learning delivery modalities, and establishment of e-learning resource depot. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are the essential points in the learning continuity plan of the Division of Batangas City. We strongly believe that however uncertain the future is, we must stand for education. As a response to the call of our DepEd Secretary, education will positively continue in Batangas City amidst this pandemic.
Isang napakalinis na learning continuity plan, isang napakapinag-isipan na plano dahil meron tayong leader kong Lodi. Mula po yan sa ating SDS Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños. At ngayon naman ay dadagdagan natin ang ating kaalaman sa susunod nating segment sa ating The Master Thinker.
Magandang araw mga kautakan! Ako si The Master Thinker ang magbibigay sa inyo ng samot-saring kaalaman tungkol sa hayop, sa bagay, lugar at mga pangyayari. Kaya manood, makinig at matuto upang buhay ay maging matalino at punong-puno ng kulay. Tingnan natin kung gaanong kalawak ang kaalaman mo sa pandemyang nararanasan natin ngayon. Magkakaroon ako ng 4 na tanong. Ang 4 na tanong na ito ay labis na mahalaga mong maunawaan sapagkat itong mga tanong na ito ang makakatulong sa atin upang mas lalo tayong makatulong sa hindi paglaganap ng coronavirus at upang maging responsable tayo sa ating pakikipagkapwa-tao. Ready ka na ba? Mga tanong ito tungkol sa COVID-19 na dapat alam mo, alam ko, alam natin lahat. Para sa unang tanong, how long does a novel coronavirus survive outside the body? Ang pagpipilian natin, A, a week in the air and on surfaces. B, several hours to days. C, up to a 2.5 weeks. Anong sagot? Tama ka. Ang tamang sagot ay several hours to days. Ang paliwanag po dyan ay ang COVID-19 virus ay stable for several hours in a tiny floating particles called aerosols. Okay? And up to 2 to 3 days on a plastic and stainless steel, according to US researchers. A study is published in the New England Journal of Medicine in March concluded na itong coronavirus can survive depending on the materials. Ano yung mga materials niyon? Number 1, pwede siya mag-survive sa copper for 4 hours. 24 hours naman sa cardboard at 48 hours sa stainless at pinakamatagal 72 hours sa plastic. So, huwag tayong maging plastic para hindi tayo matagal kapita ng coronavirus. Joke! Ang pangalawang tanong. What's more important for preventing infection? Is it frequent hand washing or wearing a face mask? Wow! Ang galing mo! Ang tamang sagot ay frequent hand washing. Ang tamang paliwanag po dyan mga kautakan ay a mask should only be worn by health workers, caregivers, and individuals with respiratory symptoms such as fever or cough. There's no conclusive evidence that masks protect ordinary or healthy people going about their daily businesses. So, ibig sabihin, hindi talaga nakakaprotekta ang paggamit ng mask. But there are small studies or may mga kakaunting mga pag-aaral na nagsasabi na ang face mask ay nakakatulong upang mapigilan ang transmission or pagkalat ng coronavirus. Kaya mga kautakan, laging maghugas ng kamay sapagkat according to health authorities, number 1, para maiwasan natin ang pagkalat ng coronavirus at hindi tayo magkaroon ng mga symptoms brought by COVID-19 ay sa pamamagitan ng palagiang paghuhugas ng kamay using disinfectant soap. Pangalawa dito ay ang paggamit ng mga alcohol-based sanitizers. That's according to David Powell, a physician and medical advisor to the International Air Transport Association. Kaya po ganon kasi ang coronavirus po ay kalimitang naikakalat natin at nailalagay natin sa ating katawan sa pamamagitan ng ating mga kamay. Ang kamay natin na laging humuhipo o humahawak sa kahit anong bagay. Tandaan, hindi natin nakikita ang coronavirus. Sila'y nariyan lang sa ating paligid at maaring sa paghawak natin sa isang bagay, ito ay kontaminado ng coronavirus at may iwasan natin tong maipasa mula sa ating kamay papunta sa ating katawan at papunta sa iba sa pamamagitan ng paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng hand sanitizer or mga alcohol-based sanitizer. Okay? Namang araw na punong-puno ng kaalaman. Maraming salamat sa inyong pag-antabay at hanggang sa muli, ang dalawang tanong ay bibigay ko sa susunod nating pagkikita at nawa ay laging tayong bukas sa iba't ibang klase ng kaalaman sapagkat ang brain dapat laging open. See you guys!
Maraming salamat, D-Master. At ngayon naman ay dito na tayo sa Dapat Healthy Ka. Napaka-importante ngayon na maging malusog, kaya narito ngayon ang ating Medical Officer 3 ng Division, Dr. Maria Rosa Villa Ciclet.
Dapat healthy ka. Dapat healthy ka.
Dapat healthy ka.
Healthy ka.
Ayan. So magandang umaga po. Naririnig na po ba ako, Ms. Dina?
Yes, Doc.
Okay,
Sige po.
magandang
Pakibuhay
hapon
po
po.
ng inyong video.
Ayan, nag-video na po ako. Ayan po. Okay na po ba? Okay na po, Ma'am Dina?
Yes, Doc. Kayo na po.
Okay. So naka-video na po ba ako? Hindi ko po nakikita yung sarili ko.
Opo, Doc.
Yan. Okay po. So, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, especially po sa ating pinakamamahal na SDS, together with po si Dr. Felizardo Belaños, and together with our ASDS po, Dr. Joffrey Palkisa, and our SGOD Chief, Mang Vicky Tulabier, and SCID Chief po, Ma'am Socorro Camilla, and to all the viewers po, and the TWG, and the entire DepEd, SDO personnel, and the whole DepEd Batangas City, mapagpalang hapon po sa inyong lahat. So, thank you, Sir Dennis. Napaka-informative na inyong in-share ngayong araw na ito. At mukhang hindi ko na masyado tatakil ang COVID sapagkat napakadami na pong naka-crowd sa inyong utak na mga information. I will just go quickly sa ating pong pinaka-recent and DepEd guidelines with regard po sa ating health standard for our upcoming school year. Ngayon po ang panahon ng pandemya. Ano po? So, unfortunately, hindi lang po ma-flash ang ating slide, but then I will tackle a little bit more, maybe about 4 to 5 slides for our guidelines on the required health standard in basic education offices in school. For those po with our group chat, especially the school heads po, with all the top management and DO personnel, I will be posting po these guidelines for our basic education offices in school. This is actually DepEd Order 014, Series of 2020. And I will give emphasis on the most important and relevant salient feature of this memo. So, kakalabas lang po itong memo ito last June 25 with regard to our COVID pandemia. This is our new normal. So number 3 po, I will emphasize, I will just skip some, I will not go over for the entire memo, but I will just skip and mention to you the most important feature of this. The number 3 clause of this memo is to ensure the safe return to schools. And DepEd offices, when allowed by the Department of Health, IATF, for the Interagency Task Force, and of course, the Office of the President, DepEd, Office of the President, the DepEd issues the enclosed guidelines for the required health standard on basic education offices and schools. So that is the most important po for the guidance of our learners, teachers, and non-teaching personnel nationwide. So that's the most important feature of these guidelines. And of course, I will also mention one of the most focus of this guideline is in accordance with the DOH guidelines on the risk-based public health standard for COVID-19 mitigation. The DepEd required health standard framework is mainly composed of 4 COVID-19 mitigation objectives. At alam ko pong kayo po ay familiar na with this 4 objectives. Increase physical and mental resilience. Sana po tayo po ay very healthy pa at sane ang ating mind and body with regards to our reaction towards this pandemic. And letter B, we have reduced transmission which I guess from the beginning when we launched the campaign for COVID, we actually create a big impact of helping the community reducing the transmission. And of course, since we have the ECQ, alam ko na buo ang DepEd personnel sa pagtutulungan sa ating IITF to reduce the transmission. Reduce contact, of course, and reduce duration of infection. So with this regard po, the DepEd required health standard aim to increase the physical resilience of learners. Standards include the re-establishment of a regular and safe delivery of essential school-based services. So kahit po tayo may pandemic, sinasabi po dito na hindi magiging balakid or challenge ang ating pandemya, especially sa pagde-deliver ng number one, the flagship program of health and nutrition unit, which is your school-based feeding program. With that also, meron pa rin po under the umbrella of school-based feeding, milk feeding is on its way for appropriate deliverance of this for the beneficiaries that we have for all the under the umbrella of STFP. So very, very important for also for the DepEd to promote the school life balance and learners' engagement in daily and physical activity provided physical distancing is observed. So, po kayo magtataka sa mga susunod na mga araw, panahon, at mga susunod na buwan, ang tuloy pa po ang pagbibigay ng serbisyo ng DepEd, especially ang school-based feeding. At ang guidelines po ay ibibigay ko rin sa inyo kung sino po ang, tuloy pa rin po ang beneficiary, kung sino po ang nasa under ng clause ng ating school-based feeding for this year 2020 to 2021. It's also under these guidelines that it's very highly important to notice, to emphasize on testing and quarantine of our personnel, and also the contact tracing of whoever that we had infected. Wag naman po sana. So unfortunately po, later on, I will give you a census of the recent City Health Office COVID pandemic survey. So we'd also want to emphasize the support protocol. The central office po for the Department of Education actually gave these guidelines for us to coordinate with PhilHealth on the coverage of the applicable package, specifically for learners, teachers, and personnel, and work out of a possible institutionalized arrangement with the agency. So with that po, we have to work hard for this to create a very good stakeholder between the DepEd and the PhilHealth agency po. Communication plan. I would greatly salute all the school heads for always being so cooperative, and all the COVID coordinators and Upland Kalusugan coordinators for their undying support that every week we keep on bothering you. The communication plan under this basic standard has also been modified, and the department places great emphasis on the importance of maintaining clear communications, consultation, skill remote consultation, and coordination with learners, teacher, personnel, parents, and other education stakeholders in this time of uncertainty po. So in such close coordination with national government, the DOH, the Presidential Communication Operation Office, and the IATF, those were the only main agencies that we will have to get the most valuable information for our continuing communication. New media channel across various online platforms such as social media and streaming services shall be strengthened for a quick and wide dissemination of policies and announcements. Environment scanning for the collection of inputs from the stakeholders will also be conducted to help in informing policy decisions. So apart from this also, even we are communicating well and we are divulging information under the clause of that guidelines number 50, that the Data Privacy Act, as we always been reminded by attorney, that the DepEd shall arrange with the learners and parents guardians, teachers, and personnel the necessary permission to health-related use and processing personal information consistent with the Data Privacy Act. So we will always protect that policy and confidentiality of your information. We also have this particular guidelines po, especially for our schools that they will be opening very soon. There are guidelines under the clause of this basic standard for health. You will find there the protective PPE suggested by the DOH for whatever position or for whatever areas that you will be working on. Like if in case for the guards, that they were the one who first inspect clients for personnel in school entrance, they were only advised to use medical mask. So wag po masyadong magpapanik yung iba kung bakit wala silang face shield. But then again, you could also use face shield for your added protection and for your added comfort for this fight against COVID. Caring for suspected case of COVID, it's advised that you could use medical mask or face shield, maybe gloves, if in case you have family or relative who are affected by this. And caring for suspected confirmed for personal in school, if in case it happens and you don't realize that you have positive in the school, goggles, face masks, gloves, and gown. But then, if somebody is to be transported from facility, knowing that this patient might be suspected to be positive, health personnel should be in full gear. So kanina po pinalash sa ating screen from the beginning na kami po ay ready, ang health and nutrition section ay ready sa inyo. Magtataka po kayo bakit hindi kami naka-PPE mask. Enough po muna ang medical mask and aming face shield to entertain with the very strict social distancing. So wag naman po kayo magtatampo kung kayo pumunta sa ating division office na hanggang dun lang tayo sa mga premises, that we really create a barrier for your protection, for your safety, and also for the safety of the entire division also. So for that po, let's continue. Very quick na lang po ito. There is also a guidelines proposed classroom seat arrangement that you can find on that guidelines for DepEd Order 014, creating a strict observance of social distancing. And for this regard po, it is a 35 pages guidelines that was just given to us. And with all these guidelines and basic safety standard that we must follow, it is our optimus goal and it's our optimus concern to make you more protected, healthier, and not only for your community to contain such virus and create a healthy environment within your family and your community, we also help creating the whole world containing this virus and containing such infection and stopping this COVID in our own simple little way. So hindi ko na po papakahabaan. With that, I will leave you with a little bit of a saying or a little bit of a quotation that I always idolize Nelson Mandela, that education is the most powerful weapon which can use to change the world. But Thomas Edison, who's also one of the scientists whom I admire, once said that health is worth more than learning. So it is my goal and the goal of the entire SDO Batangas City to keep you updated, make you healthier than ever, observe proper distancing, keep your community safe, contain whatever we can contain. And as I always tell all the school heads, we can contain we can control what is controllable. So happy afternoon, and may we all realize the impact of this COVID illness to our family, to our community, and to the world. Give each other a healthy, maybe a hug from a distance, keeping them safe, checking if their health is okay, and with that simple gesture of kindness, we help the world to create a COVID-free environment. Thank you very much, Ms. Vina, and back to you.
Maraming salamat po Dr. Maria Rosa Villaclet, ang ating Medical Officer 3 ng Division of Batangas City. Marami ba kayong natutunan? At kayo ba'y handang-handa ng patuloy na maging healthy? Ayan. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo sa ating programa. Sa ngayon ay magkakaroon tayo ng Halhalan 101. Handa na ba kayong tumawa? Huwag kakalimutang umiti. Yan ang sikreto ng magaganda, ang pagiging masaya. Kaya't narito ang Halhalan 101 at ito ay inihandog sa atin ni Sir Jojo Suarez.
Halhalan 101.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Teacher Jojo. And your name is Jenny, right?
No, it's Jeannie.
Really?
Yes.
But the spelling is G-N-N-Y. It should be read as Jenny.
No, it's Jeannie.
Oh, I see. Okay, nice to meet you, Jeannie. So, Jeannie, are you ready?
Pakilasa ko labas ang mga pang-umis, ang mga pang-mais. Di po ba? Ayan. Pero simula lang yan kung nabitin kayo sa ating mga Halhalan 101, kasama yan sa inyong aabangan dito sa ating programang DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live. At ano ba nga ba ang susunod? Mayroon pa tayong segment. This time, it's entitled, Can You Be My Partner? Tunay ngang ang pagtutulungan ay likas sa ating mga Batanggenyo. Kaya naman parami ng parami ang ating mga partners sa DepEd. Sila ang walang sawang tumutulong sa atin upang tuparin ang ating mga layunin. Would you like to be one of our partners? We need you in DepEd. Sasama na.
Can you be my partner?
na ang kanilang mga dinonate at kung gaano ba ang kanilang dinonate. Yan po ay sa pagtutulungan at sa pagiging masipag ng ating mga partners sa bawat mga paaralan. Ayan. At nais mo bang mapabilang ang inyong pangalan sa aming mga partners? Pag po kayo magpapagili, kung kayo maging partner at maging kaisa ng SDO Batangas City sa pagpupagi ng ating edukasyon para sa ating mga mag-aaral na Batanggenyo. Yan, makikita po ninyo kung anong number ang dapat ninyong tawagan. At mag-email lamang sa ating papalabas ng email address. Email po sa socmed.batangascity@deped.gov.ph or hanapin ang ating SEPS Ponciana R. Arevalo or EPS2 Margie T. Ramirez ng Social Mobilization and Networking at tawagin po ang number na 0908-354-9822. Please be our partner. Be one with us. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga partners. At ngayon naman, dadako na tayo sa ating announcement. So ang lahat po ng ating mga itinilaga ng District Information Coordinators, ganun rin ang ating mga School Information Coordinators, magkakaroon po tayo ng pagpupulong meeting via Zoom bukas, June 30, 2020. Ang link po ay isisend sa inyo. Ayan. Yan po ang ating announcement. At muli po kayo ay nakatunghay sa ating DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live. At syempre, bago po tayo magtapos, nais nating pasalamatan ang mga tao na naging kaisa natin upang ang programa ito ay maisakatuparan. Maraming salamat po sa Department of Education Schools Division of Batangas City. At syempre, nagpapasalamat ito ng buong puso kay Genyo Marcel R. Arevalo. Maraming salamat rin kay Roshan Benedict T. Ramirez. Maraming salamat din kay Dr. Dennis Masangkay ng Alangilan Senior High School. At syempre ang ating mga consultants, nandiyan ang ating Dr. Felizardo O. Bolaños, ang ating SDS, ang ating ASDS Dr. Joe P. F. Falquesa, kasama ang napakasipag na Chief Education Supervisor ng SGOD Dr. Victoria D. Fababier. Ganun din ang masipag na Chief Education Supervisor ng CID Dr. Socorro R. Comilla. Maraming salamat din po kay Dr. Angelisa A. Amoto, ang ating EPS ng SGOD. Sa ating pong mga kasamahan, ang ating Legal Officer, Attorney Mico Paulo A. Perez, ang ating pong DIO, Dr. Dandy G. Ebra, DITO, siyempre po ang mga kasama natin sa Social Mobilization and Networking, ang Ponsiana R. Arevalo at Mrs. Margie T. Ramirez. Siyempre kasama rin natin, maraming salamat din sa ating technical support internal, Sir Dandy J. Ebra, Maria Luz V. Magadja. Ang external, kasama natin si Sir Dr. Dennis V. Masangkay at Emil Torio. Ganun din, maraming salamat sa ating Medical Officer, Dr. Maria Rosa Villacler. At syempre sa ating Finance Officer, Ma Maria Josefina M. Lagman, ang Division Accountant. Ganun din po si Mama Donna Ebora, maraming salamat po ang ating Budget Officer. At ito na po, maraming salamat sa lahat-lahat na naging kaisa namin upang mabuo ang programang ito. Ang programang nasimulan na at siguradong mamahalin nyo na. Mula po sa SDO Batangas City, ito po ang inyong lingkod, Maria Vina C. Delgado, de kalidad na serbisyo, tapat at totoo para sa mga Batanggenyo. At ito ang DepEd Busy Batanggenyo Live. Maraming salamat rin sa ating pong mga nakasama upang mabuo ang ating mga video kay Ma'am Mary Grace o Pinafahilan. Maraming salamat po. Tunay nga po ang inyong ibinahagi ay isang patunay na kayo ay kapartner ng DepEd. Maraming salamat po muli, Ma'am Mary Grace o Pinafahilan. Maraming salamat din kay Venice Ivan R. Cueto at ganun din kay Michael Lagaya. tunay ngang kaisa namin kayo, kaisa ng DepEd Batangas City sa pagpupunyagi para sa edukasyon ng mga Batanggenyo. Maraming salamat po. Siyempre, maraming salamat din po sa nagpa-ngiti sa ating ngayong hapon, Sir Jojo Suarez. Muli po ang pasasalamat ng DepEd Busy Batanggenyo Live.
DepEd Busy Batang Genyo Live.